And here we have our second game, Industrial Zombies Tribute to Grow. Not Grow, but a tribute to Grow. And I just had a brain fart there. I was about to start singing Tenacious D's tribute, but I decided not to. So, if you don't know what Grow is, you haven't been playing Flash games for very long. Um, Years ago, Grow came out, and it was an incredibly popular game to play. And Grow, we'll see, this game's based on Grow. It's a tribute to Grow. It basically works exactly the same as Grow, but it's, someone else's idea for it. And I guess we'll get there. So this was written by Industrial Zombie. Thanks to Jennifer Melmore and Sam Cook for testing and ideas. Thanks to eyesmaze.com for their original Grow games. And this is, I believe, nope, that's a link to Albino Black Sheep. This version is made exclusively for albinoblacksheep.com, which is where both the Tribute to Grow and Dolphin Dash can be found. So let's play. This is basically how Grow works. And if I remember correctly, the first time I played Grow, it's very frustrating because the game includes absolutely no instructions. Just like this game. There's nothing telling you what to do. And you have to kind of experiment and figure it all out on your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click down the line and show you how this game plays. The point is to get this planet to grow into like a living planet, basically. Green and water and life forms and stuff like that. So, I'm just going to we're going to start with the sun. And when I click the sun, here's the sun. The next thing, there's this hole. So I'm going to put the hole in the side of the planet. And you see when I did that, the sun moved. Let's put down some snow. And there we have a polar ice cap. And a rocket. And a yellow guy. Alright. So you see, we just leveled up our rocket. There are essentially two ways that things level up in this game. One is over time. You notice every time I put down an item, the sun moves like a quarter turn. The sun doesn't have to be there for time to happen, but the game basically measures time with scary air quotes that you can't see based on when you put an item down. So every time you put down an item, that's like an arbitrary unit of time. And do you think the rocket leveled up because I put the yellow guy on this side of the planet? No. He leveled up because there was a certain amount of time had passed. Other items, however, level up based on proximity or the order in which you place them. So when you have two particular items, I say next to each other, the game puts the item wherever it goes. For example, I'll click this telephone pole, and you can see it builds right next to the rocket and connects to the telephone pole. If I had probably built that telephone pole without the rocket, the telephone pole probably wouldn't do anything. But now, the telephone pole levels up. And it has to do with both the fact that time has passed and the fact that it's next to the rocket. Because I doubt placing this gear on the top of the world suddenly did that. You also notice my yellow guy died, and the sun swung around and melted the polar ice caps. So, it's an Earth Day game. Let's put down my pink guy. And a river has run through it. Put down a lighthouse. There goes the rocket. Put down a circus tent. And, yep, stuff is going on. Put down Stonehenge, because Stonehenge was totally built after the rocket took off and explored space. And put down what looks like a steampunk top hat with balls on it. And there we go. So, at the end of the game, you can hear they just went, "ooh," or they booed me or something. But you can evaluate how your items did. So the sun got to max level. The hole, nothing ever happened to that hole, so it's at level 0. The snow did melt and level up, and then it did go all the way across the planet in this river and level up, but then the sun dried it up. And so it dropped back down to level 0. The rocket, you'll notice, leveled up 5 times and flew off into space, but didn't reach max level. That means either that I need to put the rocket down sooner, so it has more time, or things were not put down in the correct order and something was missing. You can see that my yellow guy and my pink guy both died, so they're level 0. They didn't do anything. My telephone pole, on the other hand, got to max level, so that's as far as it needs to stretch. I don't have to worry about interacting anything else with my telephone pole for it to max out. Same thing with the gears. Looks like something popped up and then these little C-looking things got on top of it, and that was the end of it. My lighthouse leveled up and maxed out. It leveled up once and got to max level. So the lighthouse is probably, unless it has some influence on items I put down earlier, the lighthouse is probably one of the last items I want to put down. It only had to level up once and then it was maxed out. So, you know, but again, maybe it does have some influence on like the ocean or the snowflake ocean. My circus tent reached level 2, and now you can see it's a bigger circus, but it's not maxed out, which means I probably have to either put it down earlier than, you know, third to last, or, and considering it reached level 2, I put it down and then I placed 2 items and it leveled up twice, it probably levels up over time, and so it needs to be put down a bit earlier in the order. Stonehenge didn't level up at all, so that definitely needs to be put down a little bit earlier, if only to experiment and see how it levels up and how it changes. And you can see my top hat didn't change at all either. Now, what I did when I played this game is I made these observations and then I tried making some changes. I also played everything in reverse order to see how those interacted with each other. And when you do that, you put them all down in different orders, you gain a little bit of knowledge, and then you go and you look at it. And like we just did, analyze it, evaluate it, see what order you need to put things down on, how many times something levels up before it maxes out. We know that the rocket reaches level 5, took off, but it still didn't reach max level. That means there's some sort of difference in the order that needs to happen. So you look at all these things, and then you write them down, like I did, and now I've got it written down, and I can show you the order that everything needs to be played. So we play the pink guy and the yellow guy. It's kind of obvious, when I played them individually, they died before they could interact. So they need to be put down together so that they can interact. And you can see there's even like some touching going on here. Ooh. Then we're going to play Stonehenge. And the reason why we play Stonehenge is because if you were playing like I was earlier and experimenting, you play the sun, and the sun appearing over Stonehenge causes it to level up. So then we're going to play, we need to put down the circus tent. And over time, these guys level up. So that's why they needed to be put down so early. And this guy crawls over here, and you can't continue playing until he crawls all the way over here, which is kind of a pain. Then we play the rocket ship, and our town levels up. Then we're going to play the telephone pole, because the rocket and the telephone pole go together. Then we're going to put down the gear. And, ooh, look at that. We leveled up the temple again. Whoa, serial level up. Look at that. Ooh, and look at our circus. It's super awesome. I call it a town because after you level it up, you realize it's not a circus tent, but it's like a little city. Then we're going to play our polar ice cap. Another serial level up. And look at that. We got a little tower going. Then we're going to play our top hat. And that's going to level up everything. Wow, man, this thing's just building all kinds of stuff. Alright, so then we're going to put down our lighthouse because it only needs 1 level up. And it will level up when we play the last item. Ooh, look at that. The rocket took off and went around the sun. We're going to play the hole. And everything is leveling up in a row. And this is our green planet. And when that little pink guy crawled into the hole, he causes a giant eye to appear. So long as you can get someone over to the hole, the eye will appear. So you can make that eye appear all the way at the beginning, which is what I did during one run to see if getting the eye to appear was a special thing. But actually, the hole is the last thing you play. So here we go. Everything's maxed out. We have our living planet. There's a satellite going around the sun for some reason. That would be very inefficient. We have a temple. We've got these little blue bacon wavy things going off into the towards the sun, probably collecting signals from this satellite. We do have the rocket and the telephone poles, which are now completely useless now that the satellite's in place. This giant continent-sized amoeba, its other amoeba, and their amoeba children are blanketing a significant portion of the surface of this planet. We have a pretty useless lighthouse, because there's no boats in the water. This top hat actually is a fountain, but it needs an incredibly long pipe leading to the water source in order to power it. And we have this giant city here, next to a gaping hole and a gigantic eyeball. Congratulates! This is the tribute to Grow. I recommend that you go play the Grow games. You can find them probably on a million different websites. They all play similar to this, and it's basically just a series of experiments. And to a degree, there's you can kind of deduce things, like the fact that when you get the polar ice cap, what's the word I want to look for? What doesn't make sense is that if you put down the ice cap while the sun is above it, nothing happens. You have to put it down and then have the sun move over it to melt it. But, you know, c'est la vie. Until next time, bye-bye.